Hey everybody, happy Monday morning. It's Jennifer checking in with you this week and want to talk about listing presentations. Well, everybody knows in this business you got a list to last. Listings are marketing for you. You get your name out in the yard, all the neighbors see it, but before you can get those listings, you have to nail your listing presentation. So I want to talk just today about a few things to help you really kill it when you go on a listing presentation. The first one is you need to be prepared. Listing presentations take a little bit of work. Before you go on a listing presentation, you should have looked up the history of that house. How long have they been there? Was it listed before in the MLS? Look at the old photos so you have an idea going in what to expect and if there's anything that you need to be prepared for. Look at the tax records. Know how long they've lived there. That's good stuff just to have in your packet, and right before you go in, take a look at it and commit it to memory really quick. So that way when you walk in and you're talking like you know all this stuff, they think, wow, she really knows her stuff. You need to know your comps too. Spend some time, look through photos of things that have sold. I mean, when I go in, usually I've got notes scribbled out by, yeah, this one sold in 5 days, but it had this and this. Look like you've spent some time preparing and be ready to talk about those homes in their neighborhood because they know those homes in their neighborhood. They drive past them every day and they've been watching them like a hawk. So you need to know your numbers when you go in too. Second of all, you need to know your value proposition. Why should they choose you? If you haven't thought about that, if you haven't verbalized it, written it down, practiced it, if you don't know what you have to offer other than, I'm going to put it in MLS and put a sign in the yard, you need to know the value of your company. You need to know the value of your experience. You need to know your numbers. I just used this week. I went on one and what I like to use is I run the average list to sold price ratio for my area, and then I run my listings list to sold price ratio for my area, and it was 3% higher. So when I went on my listing presentation and they challenged me on commission, guess what I told them? Here, if you look at the data, I actually sell homes for 3% higher than the average. You need to know whatever that is about you that you can show to them. Because they're not just going to choose you just because you're there. I mean, you need to let them know why they should choose you. They should feel foolish if they don't choose you. You need to know how to communicate all of that to them. And if you haven't thought through that ahead of time and practiced it and written it out, then you're probably not going to do a very good job getting that across to your clients. And then you need to ask for the business. I can't tell you, I used to coach new agents and I would go with them sometimes and they would do this great presentation, here's all of our stuff, and they would go, okay, we want to think about it, and that agent would go, okay, and get their stuff and walk right out the door. You need to, during that appointment, it's never harder for them to tell you no than when you are sitting at their kitchen table. So you need to talk to them and say, now that we've gone through everything, do you have any other questions? Are you ready to go ahead and get the paperwork signed to get started? I'm ready to get started marketing your property. I just need you to sign here so I can start doing that. Know how to overcome some of the common objections. We want to think about it. We want to sleep on it. You need to kind of think through those ahead of time. And what are you going to say? If they say they need to think about it a little bit longer, that's a good time to just say, well, I want to make sure that you don't have any questions. Is there something I haven't addressed? Because then it kind of draws it out of them. If they don't have a reason for putting you off, a good reason at least, then you can hopefully get that one signed there. And I will also leave you with this. Probably the most important part of your listing presentation. It doesn't matter how well you know your numbers, if you have the best marketing, if you gave the best presentation, if you do not establish a good rapport and relationship with that seller, there's a good chance you will lose that listing to somebody else. Talk to them, get to know them as a person, talk about personal things, try to find connections, things you can talk about. I mean, if things are going well, you should be in that house for an hour chatting about everything under the sun. If you can create that kind of connection, that actually supersedes a lot of the basics of the business. So I want you to know your basics, but also don't just go in there, bam, 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 and be ready to leave. You need to go in there ready to make a friend. Sit, talk, listen to them. Why are they moving? What did you love about this house? Where are you headed off to? Oh, I have a cousin who lives there. Have you ever been? It's beautiful. Talk about everything under the sun to try to create some kind of connection with that seller, and that will help you get that business as well. So, hope you're prospecting, hope you're setting listing appointments, I hope you're prepared for those listing appointments, and when you go into those listing appointments, I hope that you kill it because you have really put some thought and practice into it ahead of time. So, have a great week, everybody, and we will catch you next Monday. Bye.